Welcome to Apollos 25, and I'm your host Gabriel, and it's gonna be a great time. If you're coming across our channel, please feel free to hit the notification button, click the subscription button so that you'll be the first to be notified whenever we drop new and exciting content on this channel. So, we're looking at what it means to be a man. While growing up as a boy, there was so much responsibility, so much myth that was placed on the role of being a boy. Certain ideas, certain conjunctions were communicated across to me while growing up. Such things like real man should not cry, you should not always show weakness, your strength should always be seen, you need to man up. It's only weak men that cry, it's women that cry, and the likes. And so as I began to grow up, I found that society and environment in itself does not naturally favor the gender called males. Yes, that's the truth. And so you need to do a lot of things, you need to do a lot of expectations, a lot of eyes on you. You're supposed to be there for everybody. Everyone is supposed to be looking up to you. You're not supposed to look up to anybody. And when you are down, you're not meant to express your emotions because these are all of the things that society heaps up on you. And the worsening situation currently in the world is even the ones that ladies are now putting on the men, and there is a rat race. So the question is it really a man's world, or is it everybody's world? Then it becomes the man's world finally, because when people say it's a man's world, I try to grasp the term man's world. Does it mean that it is run, it is operated, is controlled, is manipulated by men? And if that is so, if it's that favorable, why would everybody want to be a man? So I have a video clip by Creator. I just want you to hear how on expression.
I could not live one day as a man. No way. Not only do men have to have themselves together, but they have to make sure the people that are following them are in order too. So he has to have eyesight not only for himself, but for everybody else around him. He has to lead everybody else, which means he does have to take his feelings and gobble them so that everybody else can lean on him. And I can't handle that. I want to be soft. I want to be coddled. I want to be taken care of. I want a hug. And I want a lot of grace when I make a mistake and I mess up. And a lot of women, we expect that other people give us grace. I mean, if I make a mistake, you should know that my emotions and my feelings got involved and I didn't mean it. But God forbid a man does that. I mean, society holds them to a certain standard, and God even holds them to a certain standard. I'm a woman, and I want to cry, and I want a lot of grace. I want people to cheer me on when I do stuff right. When I think logically, it makes sense. People cheer me on for it as a woman because it's unheard of when women hold themselves accountable and want to reach for a certain standard. That's holy that God wants us to live by. But men don't get cheered on when they do stuff right. We just magnify when they do wrong, and when they do right, it was already expected of you. You don't get hugged and coddled and cheered on for it. And I just couldn't live like that. I couldn't live as a man. I would just like be done, bye. Because what's the point? I don't get a hug and I don't get loved when I try so hard. God forbid as a man, like, you mess up in any capacity. God forbid. The people around you will remind you of it to the day you die. There's just so much expectation and standard for a man. And I know other men are going to say, they have to. God appointed them. So they have to. Even biblically, God holds men to a higher standard that you have to live by, and expectations out of you that you have to live by. You have to be on point because everybody's counting on you. Everyone that's following you and that's under you is counting on you. You have to have eyesight for everybody around you that is following you, that you are leading. You need to not only know yourself, but know them, so you know how to appoint them and you know how to lead them and how to guide them, which means you have to have a whole lot of self-awareness. And I as a woman, I just could never be a man.
That's good. So having seen that, it gives me a whole lot of things to think about. If a woman is expressing this level of concern, it means that she's gone just beyond the emotional level. She's doing a lot of thinking, and usually women are not logical beings, and she has weighed in a lot of factors, and she has really considered that men, if this is all it takes, if this is all it needs to be a man, she doesn't want to be a man. I think the feeling is vice versa. Most men don't want to be women, and women don't want to be men most times, because it's easy to think that it is simple to switch roles, while in actuality, it is not easy to switch roles, because those roles are built and they are wired to fit in our personalities. So, for me, I want to take this along as we look at this reality. I think that if you're married or you have a fiance, I think you're watching this video, I think you need to sometimes sit back and affirm your love to that man. Men don't usually respond to love in terms of affirmation. Men respond to love in its way as respect. Show that man respect, show that man appreciation. Sometimes, if need be, tell him that you understand the weight and the responsibility that he's shouldering, and that you care, and that you want to be appreciative of his role in your life as a man. And if you're a man and you're not living up to these expectations, my candid opinion is that you try to do that which you can, and don't bring yourself under this pressure that has been engineered by society, where you are able to force yourself to muddle your hands. So if you're watching this video, want to hear your comment, want to know what you think about those realities and what she just said, and to know actually from your own perspective, truly, is it a